Hello, welcome to the fourth video on Introduction to Thermometers. In this video, we will learn about another concept about thermometers, which is the range of a thermometer. Now, what do we mean by the range of a thermometer? The range of a thermometer tells us what is the lowest temperature a thermometer can measure and what is the highest temperature a thermometer can measure. The lowest temperature is also called the minimum temperature, and the highest temperature is also called the maximum temperature a thermometer can measure. So once again, the range of a thermometer is the lowest value that the thermometer can measure and the highest value that the thermometer can measure. Now, in order to understand this, I've got three thermometers here, and we'll start with the simplest of the thermometer, which is right here with us. Now, I will have to zoom in and find out the lowest temperature that this thermometer can measure, and we'll write the value somewhere here. So now for this particular thermometer, let us find the lowest value of temperature that this thermometer can measure, and for that we need to zoom in and we'll just go down and find out the lowest value that this thermometer can actually measure. So here is the lowest value, and what is this? This is 10. But what 10 is this? If you see a tiny bar on the top of it, do you see a line on top of 10? This tells us that this is minus 10. And what is the way to find out that this is minus 10 degrees? Because 0 degrees is here. So any value below 0 is minus. So if you look at this graduation, the longer graduation next to 0, this is actually 0. And this graduation just above my nail now is minus 1. And here is minus 2 and minus 3, 4 and minus 5 degrees. And if you look down here, this is minus 10, which is right here. Not this, but this point here. Let me use my marker to tell you where exactly minus 10 is. So this is minus 10 degrees. So the minimum value that this thermometer can measure is minus 10. And what is the highest value that this thermometer can measure? Let us move up. So I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to move down the thermometer and we'll find out what is the highest temperature value it can measure. So here is 50 degrees and then 60 and then 70, 80, 90 and eventually we reach 100 degrees Celsius. See the unit on the top? So this is 100 is here, 100 degrees Celsius. But that is not the maximum. The maximum value is here. It's right here. And this value here onto the top here is 110 degrees. 100 and then there are 10 more degrees to it. So the maximum temperature this thermometer can measure is 110 degrees. So let me just zoom out and write down the range for it. And I already have written the range for this particular thermometer that we saw. So the least value, the minimum value that, or the lowest temperature. So for minimum, the word lowest can also be used. So the lowest temperature this thermometer can measure is minus 10 degrees and the maximum is 110 degrees. So the range of this thermometer is minus 10 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. Now, I hope this was easy to understand. Let us look at a little bit complicated, a bit more complicated example. And for that, I have another thermometer here.